Do you love cabooses? I know I do. And the other day I was standing next to the layout after an operating session and just looking around at how it had been left. There was this whole string of cabooses in the Interbay yard, and I thought I bet you'd enjoy seeing these. There's a SP&S on the right there, came from North Bank lines. I don't know where the BN caboose is from, but has a nice weathering job. I think that's a brass caboose I picked up at a swap meet. Another one of Ed Austin's North Bank Line SP&S cabooses, and a couple of Overland Models cabooses with a Athearn Sky Blue caboose. And I love that X CB&Q caboose in the corner. And this model is a brass model of that classic Northern Pacific boxcar that got rebuilt into a caboose and then repainted into BN. So I try to keep track of my cabooses with a caboose card, which is similar to a car card, but I put red paint on the edge of it with a marker so you can see it's not normal. And see, it has the prototype data there of when the caboose was built or repainted, as well as information about who built the caboose. And this is the car repair shop. We're getting a little distracted from looking at cabooses, but it's always good to have some extra wheels in your car repair shop. And there are cars in there that have various issues with them, where the loads fell off. I'm not sure. I think the coupler came off that upper car. You can see it lying on the ground there to the left. I'll have to fix that. It shouldn't take too long. See the coupler down there on the left on the ground? And you've seen these snow plows before, the Jordan spreader. It's always good to have some track on your layout for showing off maintenance of way equipment, even if you don't really run it that often. And this is the scene in the car repair shop. It's modeled after the prototype, which is very easy to railfan if you're ever in the Seattle area. You can go to Interbay Yard, and there it is. Well, now we're going to go around the room and look at all the other cabooses. Here in Stacy Street Yard, we ended up with 3 cabooses here. This one on the left is another Overland model, I believe. The one in the center is a Northeastern Scale Models kit that somebody built, and I purchased it at Steve DiPolo's train store a few years ago. And the blue caboose is another Overland Models. This is one of the new Athearn Genesis CB&Q sound car cabooses, which are pretty cool. And this is the scene in Stacy Street Yard after the op session was over. This is a 3D printed model by a guy in Oregon who does really beautiful work and sells them at swap meets. Now, over in Argo Yard, there's a Union Pacific caboose because we interchange with the UP there. Then up on the Skykomish level deck, which we haven't ballasted yet, we've got one of these beautiful new tangent cabooses, and Brian Elchlip did a nice weathering job on that. And then over here, I think, is another tangent caboose. I don't know why 2 of these cabooses would end up in the same staging yard after the same op session, but that looks like a smoke jack is missing. I'll have to look into that. Anyway, that's the Skykomish staging yard in the distance there. Above that, there's a little shelf that we use for the Milwaukee limestone branch, and it also has the Pacific Zip on it. And this is a brass caboose that I picked up from Bill Sorensen the other day. It was surplus to his needs. I haven't weathered it yet. And then here at the end of the Bellingham staging, we have a couple cabooses. The one on the right hasn't been repainted for the BN yet. The one on the left has. And another beautiful Great Northern caboose. I think this might be an Atlas model. I'm just guessing. I'm pretty sure that's an Atlas caboose. And then further up, we have the Bellingham Coast Route train, and that has a Walther's caboose on it. And here's another 3D printed job. Very nice. Nothing wrong with that Chooch Industries load in the hopper car either, is there? This is a way station that J.J. Johnson built as a building, and of course this is another Atlas caboose, I believe. Isn't that a nice building for the maintenance of way folks? And this is another Milwaukee caboose down in the Black River Junction staging yard, as well as a Union Pacific caboose. And we also have the Canpotex unit train coming down from Canada, and this is the Milwaukee caboose on that train. While we're talking about the Milwaukee, here's the pending engine terminal that we're building, and you've seen that switcher in some other videos, but I have one of these Fox Valley transfer cabooses painted for the Milwaukee. Looks real nice. And you can see we're experimenting with mirrors there. So we'll have a nice little scene down here in a few months. And finally, we turn to the Bayside yard where we have a caboose track. And these 3 cabooses ended up, after the op session, parked there. I think the one on the right is a brass Overland model. And the one on the left is a really good example of an older brass caboose that doesn't look nearly as good as some of the modern 3D printed work that's being done today. And this is an Atlas model that was renumbered that Aiden picked up at a swap meet one day and brought over, which was really great. So I hope you enjoyed this little tour of all the cabooses on the Burlington Northern Railroad. And for now, this is Burr Stewart, wishing you much fun with trains.